everybody. Welcome to a very special Tuesday 2 o'clock broadcast. I am ranch hand Wardasani / teacher Wardasani, and I have brought some special guests with me today. This is my 4th grade class, and our broadcast today is all about the Awesome Osprey project. So I just want to start by giving a couple thank yous and shout outs to some groups of people. Thank you, first of all, to my Days at Dunrovin team, Suzanne and Kelly and James. Thanks for working with me to get this all set up. We're super excited to be here and to provide this for everyone to see. I'd also like to thank the online chat members, especially Celia, Gab, I Love, DA Lady, Twinks, Bobcat, and many others that have spent time talking and working with my students on chat. I really appreciate your knowledge and helping to further them even more in their knowledge on the Osprey. I'd also like to say hello to Brookdale. Hi, Brookdale.
Hi.
Thanks for joining us today. We cannot wait to come and see you next week. We have so much to teach you about Hal and Harriet, and we really think you're going to enjoy what we have to teach you. I'd also like to say thank you to the parents of my class. Thanks for allowing them to participate in not only this broadcast, but also in the project. It's really been a great way to engage my students in science. And also to fellow teachers that are watching, whether you are brand new to this project or you have participated before, we really hope that we can share some review or new knowledge on the Osprey, and hope that you enjoy this project if you're participating, because it is really the most engaging, exciting way to bring science and nature into your classroom. So without further ado, we would like to start off with some introductions from members of my class. It was requested by members that they connect the student's name with their chat name. So we are going to start off with that. They will share their first name, their chat name, and their favorite thing that they have learned about in the project so far, or some type of awesome memory of Harriet and Hal that they've seen so far.
Hello, my name is Allison, and my chat name is Awesome Allie. And my favorite thing that happened so far is probably when Hal took Horace's egg as his own. Hi, my name is Katie. My chat name is Katydid. And one of my favorite things that happened at the nest was when Harriet had her first egg.
Hi, my name is Rex, and my chat name is Rexidex. And my favorite thing is when Harriet first arrived at the nest.
Hi, my name is Marley. My chat name is Marley10, and my favorite moment with Hal and Harriet was when Hal came back and everybody was checking to see if it was him, and it was.
Hi, my name is Kayla. On chat, I'm Flippy Girl. My favorite part about Harriet and Hal so far is when Hal adopted Horace's egg.
Hi, my name is AJ. My chat name is AJBoss48, and my favorite thing about Hal and Harriet, us researching them, is when the camera got all 3 eggs.
Hi, my name is Brooke, and my chat name is BrookieCookie48. And my favorite part about the nest is when Horace laid an egg with Harriet, and Hal decided to adopt it.
Hi, my name is Evan, and my chat name is Evan Almighty 2.0. And my favorite part about the nest is when Harriet flew over from the wind.
Hi, my name is Dakota, and my chat name is Coda Stew. And my favorite moment was when Harriet laid her eggs. Hi, my name is Vika. My chat name is Little Batesy, and my favorite part was when Harriet tumbled over on the nest.
Hi, my name is Carson. My chat name is Carson50, and my favorite moment was when Hal kicked Horace off the nest.
Hi, I'm Paul. My name on chat is Mr. Tuscan PH. My favorite moment was when Hal and Horace had a fight.
Hi, my name is Jack, and my chat name is Jack2019, and my favorite part is when Harriet flew over because of the wind.
Hi, my name is Sophia. I am not on chat, but I really enjoy watching Hal and Harriet, and my favorite moment is when Harriet laid her second egg.
My name is Cameron. I am not on chat, but I love the Awesome Osprey project, and my favorite part was when Hal adopted Horace's egg as his own. Hi, my name is Alex, and my chat name is Amazing Alex 2.0.
My favorite part is when Harriet blew off of the nest.
Hi, my name is Declan. My username is DC10, and my favorite part was when Hal brought back the really big fish.
Hi, my name is Kingston, and my username is calss31, and I have a twin with the same username. And my favorite memory of Hal and Harriet is when Harriet had her eggs.
Hi, my name's Christian, and I'm not on chat. My favorite part was when Harriet fell over.
My name is Emily, and my username on chat is AwesomeEmily, and my favorite part was when Hal adopted Horace's egg.
And that is my class. And we hope that you enjoy connecting the faces with the chat names that you've been seeing and talking to throughout this project so far. And what we wanted to share with you also is about how we are using Harriet and Hal with the nest in our science classes and especially in our writing. So can you show them what you have on your desk? We have different sizes, but mostly small sizes where we are using our journals to write down everything exciting. Thank you. You can put your journals down. We are using our journals to document everything exciting that happens on the nest. So we don't run the nest 24/7, but we have it up often. And if we're on a field trip or out at recess, I have some special friends that are some of our members on chat that message me and tell me when something exciting happens. So as teacher, I put it up on the big whiteboard in class, and they know when they see something on the Osprey data whiteboard that they document it into their journal. So Brookdale, when we come and see you next week, we are going to bring our journals with, and we will have some talking points to be able to talk about what we've seen and what you've seen for the adventures of Harriet and Hal so far for the Osprey Project 2019. So many of our students are on Ranch Chat often to be able to not only watch the nest, but to be able to ask questions about Harriet and Hal or other animals or different Osprey questions that they want to learn about. Does anybody want to share what they have enjoyed about being on Ranch Chat? Evan Almighty 2.0.
I've enjoyed being on Ranch Chat because everyone, the other chatters are so nice and they tell me a lot of information about the nest and Harriet and Hal.
Rex?
I like when Dunrovin Sheila does like, hiya, Rex.
AJ?
I like chat a lot because Dunrovin Celia especially gives me a lot of information. She's very kind on chat.
Jack?
What I like about chat is that all the people have so much good information to help us learn about the nest.
I love that I Love Grandkids shares so much and teaches me so much more that I don't already know about the ospreys.
I love the pictures that we can Dunrovin Celia, I think, captures them and then puts them on the chat. They're super cool.
Caleb?
I enjoy when everyone gives me information about what's happening at the nest and updates me.
I love chat because it gives me a chance to give me facts about the Osprey nest and what questions I have, and I love the Osprey project.
And I love being on Ranch Chat because I get to exchange with all of you that are the bird experts. And you definitely have taught me a lot about osprey and other birds that I can bring back and teach my students in the classroom. So thank you to all of you online chat members for sharing your knowledge with me. And I look forward to learning much more from you as experts. So we want to switch our topic of conversation to Harriet and Hal and see if you learned anything new about what we know so far. So what do we think makes Harriet and Hal an excellent team? Sophia?
I think Harriet and Hal are an excellent team because Harriet will watch the nest while Hal goes and gets food.
Elsa?
I love how they take turns sitting on the eggs. That way one of them isn't like really hungry because they haven't like, or they need to like stretch their wings because they haven't been away to fly for a while.
Okay.
They're such a good team because they take such good care of the eggs.
Hal and Harriet is such a good team because Hal knows all the signals for when Harriet's hungry or when there's an alert call.
Harriet and Hal are a great team because they share the nest and the eggs and the fish.
Harriet and Hal are a great team because Harriet stays at the nest, and Hal gets the food, so it's a good team.
I think Hal and Harriet are a good team because it's kind of like in classic books where there's always like Harriet is the housekeeper and Hal is more of a fisherman.
So when we're participating in the project and we're watching the nest, one of the biggest things that we worked on a lot was to figure out, how do we know who's on the nest? Is it Harriet? Is it Hal? Is it a visitor bird? Is it an intruder? Is it somebody that's trying to take over the nest from Harriet and Hal? So we spent a lot of time having conversations about who is who and how do we know. So how do we know if Harriet is on the nest? Jack.
We can tell that Harriet has a brown necklace.
Yeah.
We can tell because Harriet is bigger than Hal.
Rex.
We can tell because Hal has a little white spot right here and no black, and Harriet has a little black spot here. Yeah. Harriet has lighter feathers on her back.
How can we tell if it's Hal on the nest? He has special features that we've talked about. 3 different things that I can think of. Let's see if we can name them. Kavik.
His beak is longer than some others.
He has a very special beak. That's one. Marlon.
He has white parts up here.
In comparison to Harriet, he does have white. And the third.
That his eyes are more distinguished and pulled back than Harriet's.
He does. I'm thinking about something about the feathers though as well. Paul.
He has less of a like necklace than Harriet.
That is true too, but also about the feathers. What about the coloring difference between Hal and Harriet? Evan.
He has a patch on the back of his head that's like a lighter brown than most of the other colors.
Right. His feather colors are definitely different. Can we name some of the birds that are considered intruders or guests that are not welcome at the nest? Emily.
Geese.
Geese. Definitely. Dakota.
The great horned owl.
The great horned owl. And I learned from chat this year the abbreviation for great horned owl we know is
GHO.
The GHO. We know that the big capital G, capital H, capital O is the GHO, and we do not want him on the nest at all. What else?
Eagles.
Eagles, a definite intruder bird. What about other osprey?
Yeah.
Are those considered intruders?
Yeah.
Yes, very good. Raise your hand to answer. How long can an osprey live? Sophia.
An osprey can live from 15 to 20 years.
15 to 20 years for an osprey life. However, we do know of one that is 25 years old, and we kind of talked about that. Do we know who that is? Carson? Iris at the Hellgate nest. I'm pretty sure 25 years old and one of the oldest osprey around that we know. Anything else we want to share about Harriet versus Hal? Yes.
Hal is more thin and skinnier than Harriet because Harriet's a big bird.
And female ospreys are bigger in size than the male. So we recognize that when they're on the nest as well. Marla.
I noticed this morning from 8:33 to 8:34 that Hal got off the nest and Harriet, when he got back, was trying to get on the eggs for a minute.
So if you're a teacher watching this, we document in our journals time. We document who's on the nest. We document whether they are tending the nest. We document whether we can see the eggs, who is on the nest, how long they're gone, when a fish came, whether the fish has a head or not when it's brought to the nest. So every little piece of journaling opportunity that we can do for science and writing, we definitely do so. Yes.
Hal is the one that normally does most of the fishing, while Harriet stays in the nest.
Paul.
Hal has a bad temper.
Hal does have a bad temper. Sometimes. That is very true. Males. Yes.
Harriet collects more of the sticks, and like Marley said, and Hal goes and does the fishing.
We're going to switch topics now to osprey nest. What have we seen Harriet and Hal bring to the nest? Okay.
We've seen that they've brought sticks and other supplies for the nest.
Sticks and other supplies for the nest. Other things besides sticks? Yes.
One time they brought a piece of tarp.
Piece of tarp. A ginormous piece of tarp. What else has come that is a danger to the nest? Anybody remember? It was orange. Sophia.
It's orange and it's like a long string and it's called twine, and sometimes you use it to like you wrap it around sometimes like hay bales to keep them together.
Right. Not safe for an osprey nest for sure. What about things that have come to the nest that we talked about, other nests? Thank you, Gab, for sharing about the nest in San Francisco. We saw a very unique item brought to an osprey nest, Paul, and that was a stuffed monkey. So ospreys are known to bring very unique and different items to the nest, but Harriet and Hal are your pretty traditional. They bring just your basic sticks and hay and grass, and we wait for something exciting to come, but it's your pretty typical items brought to the nest. Where can osprey nests be built? Where should they be built? Carson.
By a river or some sort of water supply and food.
Right, some type of water so that they can get fish. Let's talk about the nest being built over time. Has the nest that we see right now always been that big?
No, it was just once just a small nest.
So every year, what happens over time?
They build up the nest until it gets super big.
And do they keep coming back to the same nest? Yes.
Yeah.
And every year they build up their nest more and more sticks, more grass, and it gets to be huge over time. Yes.
Sometimes Harriet brings back like these really large sticks that are like the size of pogo sticks, so we call them pogo sticks. They're really large.
Where do osprey get those sticks? Do they just find them on the ground, or where do they get them from? Allison.
Sometimes they break them off the trees.
Break them off the trees. How long have we noticed does it take for Harriet or Hal to leave and come back with a stick or something for the nest? What's about our average time, Rex?
2 to 4 minutes.
2 to 4 minutes. Sometimes Hal, I've noticed, has been even quicker. I've noticed a minute there and back. What is the bottom of the nest called, where other small birds could be making their homes? Katie.
The bottom of the nest is called the basement.
The basement. What is the top part of the nest where you have the eggs live? Jack.
The top part of the nest where the eggs are, it's called the cup.
The cup. Who do you think, in your opinion, is a better housekeeper of the nest, and why? Marley.
Harriet is, because before Hal was back, she had more time to get the nest ready for him. So she has more experience.
Anybody agree or disagree? Jason? No? You agree? Anybody else want to share? Yes.
Hal is better at getting fish than Harriet, because Harriet's like a housekeeper and Hal's like a fisherman.
Speaking of fish, let's switch to fish. What type of fish are typically brought back to the nest that we've seen? Evan.
Typically they'll bring back trout or some kind of other like small fish, or sometimes very large fish.
Where do our osprey, Harriet and Hal, where do they fish from? Alex.
They fish from the Bitterroot River.
The Bitterroot River. Now, the Hellgate nest with Iris and Lewis, they don't fish out of the Bitterroot River. Where do they fish out of? Sophia.
Iris and Lewis fish out of the Clark Fork River.
The Clark Fork River. And we've talked about the difference between the Clark Fork River and the Bitterroot River. What is the difference between the two? Katie.
The difference is that the Clark Fork River is more muddy. It's muddy, and it's harder to find fish than the Bitterroot River.
So that's why we see that Harriet and Hal have had much success bringing back fish, because they're able to fish out of the Bitterroot River, whereas osprey nests that are closer to the Clark Fork have a little bit harder time just with the difference of the water. Any additional thoughts on that?
Also, the Clark Fork River has way more pollution.
Jack.
Like Anthony said, there's more pollution because when 3 rivers flow into and make one river, all the pollution from each river goes into that one river. And on the other hand, the Bitterroot River actually comes from the Mississippi River, so it's cleaner water.
Raise your hand if you have seen a headless fish come to the nest. If you have not seen it, watch out for it. A headless fish can come back to the nest. Who usually has brought back so far the headless fish? Harriet or Hal? Hal. And why does the fish sometimes come back headless? What happens from when the fish gets picked up in the Bitterroot River and brought to the nest? Something happens in between. What happens and why? Ken.
Hal eats the head, and then he brings the rest of it back to Harriet to eat.
Right. If you didn't see the floppy fish from yesterday, we definitely watched that video. There was a live floppy fish on the nest, which is very entertaining to watch, to see who gets to eat first. How far do osprey have to dive under the water to get their food? Rex.
3 feet.
3 feet. What do osprey use? What part of their body do they use to get the fish from the river? Deborah.
They use their talons.
Their talons. If a headless fish is coming back to the nest, they have no choice but to carry it by the body. But if the head is still attached, how does an osprey carry a fish to the nest? By its what? Yes.
By its head.
By its head. Anything else you want to share about fish? Heather.
If you've ever seen like the gigantic fish, they sometimes bring those back. And usually you're wondering, are they going to break the eggs because it might still be alive or something?
Yes.
Last year, the fish was having to be shared between the 3 chicks, and usually the 2 bigger chicks end up getting most of the fish. So when they usually bring back the fish, they're still usually alive and flopping. That's happened a lot recently with bigger ones, less than smaller ones.
Yes. Speaking of eggs, Hal has been trying to move Harriet off the nest. And sometimes Harriet tries to move Hal off the nest. Why? Paul?
Because they both want turns sitting on the eggs.
Yes, it's interesting to us that we see that Harriet and Hal each want a pretty equal turn in sitting on the nest. How are they moving each other off? There's a specific act that they're doing to try to be like, hey, my turn. What do they do? Dakota.
Either they'll try to pick, or whichever one wants to turn on the eggs, either they can try to peck it or try to push him or her off the nest.
Did Harriet try to sit on Hal? Did we see that?
Yeah.
Yes. And did Hal take his talent and kind of poke in the back of Harriet to be like, Mrs., it's completely my turn. Did we see that? Yeah. Yes. So there's definitely different ways that they try to take turns to sit on the eggs. Raise your hand if you know the answer to how many current eggs do we have in the Dunrovin Ranch nest? Sophia.
Currently in the Dunrovin Ranch nest right now, we have 3 eggs.
3 eggs currently. And we've done the math. We know how many days approximately it takes before the eggs would hatch. We are out of school June 7th, and we have figured out that hopefully all 3 eggs will have the chance to hatch before school gets out. How many eggs could an osprey nest have? We have 3 currently, but what is the statistic for how many there could be, Emily?
5.
5. Could there be 0?
Yes.
Could there be 1?
Yes.
Could there be 2?
Yes.
We get the idea. But no more than 5, but it's possible that sometimes there are 0. Can anybody describe what an osprey egg looks like? Beverly.
It is white with brown and red spots on it.
Spots. And we have learned that an osprey egg has a special name because of those colors. Do we know what that specific name is called, Katie?
The name is called a Christmas egg
Because
of its colors.
yes, Christmas egg. How lovely is that? It is nowhere near Christmas time, but we love that fact about the eggs. Incubation time. How long does it take once an egg is laid to hatch? AJ.
It takes normally 40 to 45 days, but sometimes Harriet will delay incubation because if the chicks are too far apart in age, then 2 chicks that are older will be probably ruder and take more food than.
So we've talked about the delayed incubation that Harriet has been doing to try to get the chicks to be close in age. We've also talked about osprey chicks. Their babies are known as chicks. We've talked about what happens when the chicks are born, depending on how many they have. There's a difference in behavior between the oldest versus the youngest. The older the chicks are, the more kind of serious they are about wanting their food and wanting it now. And typically the younger ones don't get as much right away. And so we always hope that nature does the right thing for us. Yes, Mom.
There were 3 chicks last year named Wakati, Congo, and Jumbo. Wakati and Congo were the 2 older ones, and Jumbo didn't get enough and so died.
Yes. So hopefully with 3 eggs, we are hoping for the best to make sure that nature is successful. How many cameras do we have at Dunrovin Ranch? If you are a member and you follow the invite a friend link, you have the option to watch how many different cameras?
4 different cameras.
4. Can anybody give me one example of a camera that you could watch, Allison?
The nest cam.
The Nest camera. Give me a second camera that you could watch. Kingston.
The ranch cam.
The Ranch cam. Lots of fun things happen on the Ranch cam. What is a 3rd camera, Jack?
The nest cam.
The Nest cam, and there is one more. Carly?
The river cam.
The River cam. Anybody want to share what their favorite camera is, and or maybe something that they've seen on that camera that they want to share? Carson?
The bench cam, you can see deer, squirrels.
We've seen quite a bit of wildlife on the bench cam this year. Anybody want to share what we have seen or you have seen from home? AJ?
On the bench cam, I've seen almost 6 deer.
6 deer at a time at the bench cam. If you haven't checked that out, make sure you look at that. What else has been at the bench? Declan?
I've seen geese and squirrels and flying squirrels.
Yes, squirrels and flying squirrels. These little guys. Katie?
I've seen woodpeckers.
Woodpeckers, excellent. Evan?
I've seen many, like I've seen a few bucks, which you can rarely see now. And I've also seen like maybe a chickadee.
Chickadee, definitely. We've seen some raccoons. We have seen some wild turkeys. It is definitely full of wildlife. Yes, Al?
You can also see geese.
Geese, quite a few. Yes, we can hear them too. We'd rather hear osprey, but we hear geese too. Yes.
I've seen dogs and people as well.
Dogs and people, that is true. The bird feeders have to be changed and things have to be built over there at the bench cams. Things are always changing and exciting things are always happening at the ranch. Trust me, I know. Anybody else? Cameras, yes.
Once I saw a rabbit on the bench cam.
Yes.
Once we saw a video of raccoons and a fox.
Yes.
I like the ranch cam, and I like it because one time when I was watching, the camera was moved, and the camera was watching the Nest cam, and you could see the Nest camera watching the nest. It was
Has anybody seen the camera when it's moved to the winter pasture across the street from the ranch and you see all the horses over there? That is an option. Has anybody been on and seen a ranch hand Gordostani salute at the end of a shift? That happens regularly. Has anybody just turned on the river camera to listen to the sound of the river, right? You may not always see something, but it is a lovely sound to hear the Bitterroot River coming down. How about ranch animals? Anybody that you've seen, some of your favorites or stories that you've heard that you would want to share? Katie.
My favorite animals are all the animals because they're all so interesting.
Carson.
Bonnie and Clyde.
Evan.
Probably the divas because they you can always see them walking around on the ranch cam, and sometimes you can hear them make their sound.
I've seen lots of horses, and I love horses. They're so pretty, and Bonnie and Clyde. Bonnie is blind on the side, and her son is Clyde, and Clyde kind of helps her lead her around to her food.
I like Flynn because even though his top part got chopped off, he's still really cool. Jason.
My favorite, of course, except Harriet and Hal, are the Donkey Divas.
I also enjoy watching the Donkey Divas. I love their names. It's funny.
If you haven't heard the newest about the Donkey Divas and Crow, Crow has become quite the protector of his girls. The Donkey Divas, they are now a little herd down on the ranch floor. He is always looking after them. So definitely that's the newest buzz on the ranch camera. So be sure to check that out if you have not yet. Paul.
The squirrels, because they're just like on the bird feeders.
Yes, thank you for sharing that with us. We definitely watched on the camera the squirrel eating upside down from the bird feeders that we have to fill, probably because of them for a lot of the time. We do want to talk about future Osprey chick names. Now, my class got the opportunity to choose the names from last year on behalf of my student who was a refugee. Their names were Wakati, Congo, and Jumbo. But this year, if we have successful 3 chicks, do we have any name suggestions from this group? And we have talked about no student names. We've talked about how when you pick names, it should maybe have a story behind it, something that would be easy for everybody to remember and pretty easy to spell for those of us that are regularly on chat. So do we have some suggestions for Suzanne and for the chat members? Jack.
So my first suggestion is Ruby because our state is also called the Treasure State, and my second is Ozzy because in the memory of Ozzy who died by an eagle years ago, and I don't have a third one.
I really like the names Nevaeh, Heaven, and Glory because God creates all living things, and those words have to do with God.
My names chosen were Tulip, Rose, and Daisy because I think the flowers totally represent spring when the flowers are blooming and the eggs start to be laid and hatched.
Bugsy, Joy, and Hope because Bugsy is a hamster that has extremely big eyes and people make fun of him. So you have to have Joy and Hope for him.
I like Huffy, Puffy, and Muffy. Huffy because of when they eat the crop, and Fluffy is like the clouds, and Muffy is just because I kind of like that name. I like the names Hope, Faith, and Joy because it has to do with like God.
I like Huey, Dewey, and Louie because they're really famous from the DuckTales show, and they're just really funny. And
I was thinking Alvin, Simon, and Theodore. There's one could be Alvin, and it would get in trouble all the time. And then one would be Simon, and be all smart, and another one would be Theodore, and he'd get all cool.
Paul,
I would think Mo, Larry, and Turkey.
Mo, Larry, and Curly?
Yes.
Or after the Three Stooges, wouldn't that be interesting?
Yeah.
Kingston.
I would kind of like Doug, Love, and Chuck.
Doug, Love, and Chuck. Unique, absolutely unique. Any other suggestions we have going on here? Brooke?
I want the third chick to be named Hope because Hope reminds me of I'd want the third chick to have hope that he'd survive and have enough food.
Brookdale, I think you should be thinking about some name suggestions so that when we come and see you next week, we would be able to talk about what your name suggestions would be for our chicks. Don't you think that'd be a good idea?
Yeah.
Anybody else? AJ?
I think we should name the three of them Buzzy, James, and Kevin Jenkins, because all three of those people won over $1 million on Jeopardy.
Emily?
Nevaeh and Heaven and Hope because Nevaeh is heaven spelled backwards and heaven is Nevaeh spelled backwards and Hope just because.
Dakota?
For one of the names, I was thinking Jimmy, because one of them might love to eat, and there's always Jimmy John's.
I don't think our out there going to Jimmy John's, but you never know. Magical things happen. Yes, Rex.
I think another name would be Tulip, Sun, and Daisy. Buttercup, just to like represent like the flowers and sun and spring.
I like to name them Chippendale and Mr. Snubblopougus.
That's a very long name. I don't think Celia would be very happy with trying to spell that, right? These are lovely suggestions. Thank you so much. We will, I'm sure, compile a list for Suzanne and our team to decide from. We are going to wrap it up for today. We appreciate you joining us so much for this broadcast. We hope that you learned something new and got to know a little bit about the Awesome Osprey Project, which officially begins next week. Keep an eye on the nest, watch the cameras, and stay tuned for an exciting future adventures from Harriet and Hal. So, as is tradition at Dunrovin Ranch, when we finish a nighttime shift, we must salute. So, we are going to salute. Stand up. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3.